So I'm filming a bit about what we did to convert what was a typical old, damp, drafty, leaking conservatory. So you can currently see what it is like now. And I'll just flash up some photos of so you can see what it used to look like. And as you can see, very old and much needed some love. So where we are here though, planning constraints mean we can't put a actual proper extension on, so we are limited to actually having a conservatory as the only option to have some form of extension. So instead of just replacing with a new conservatory, which would be quite expensive, instead try to reuse as much as possible. So the original walls have been kept, which have now been, as you can see, painted anthracite just to modernise that a little bit. And all of the original UPVC has been kept, apart from the door actually. The door's been replaced. But it's been painted with a special exterior UPVC paint, which we'll put a link in the description below, which chemically bonds to the UPVC and is extremely hard wearing. It does harden over time as well. So I think I'm quite happy with how that paint has turned out. To the right of this door here, so this used to be actually double doors, fully glazed, but in order to have some better storage inside and make it a bit more of a hybrid room, basically we removed the far end panels from each side of the conservatory, so that effectively there is proper wall living space inside. And part of that did put a new UPVC door in, which is more secure. But so while I said all the frames are original, all of the glass has been replaced as it was all leaking and old and very poor in terms of energy efficiency. Even though it was double glazed, it was still very old, at least 20-30 years old I think. So, and that's actually quite easy to do in terms of just keeping the frames and just replacing the glass once you know the sizes. I also replaced, if I go a bit closer to this, so all of the rubber gasket seals have also been replaced in the windows, because they were all quite crusty and leaking air a bit and a bit of water, so they've all been replaced as well. I'll just come around to the other side. You can see as well, I have just got the ladder up at the minute, so I'm going to go up on the roof. But you can see as well, the left hand side panel here, which is also glass, has now also been removed. That's a solid wall, which we've clad. If I just pan over to the garden office where you've seen a couple of where my workshop is, similar cladding to try and make it a bit consistent. So the other main thing that we did is replace the roof to make it more of a hybrid roof. Now we still have to comply with the rules of what a conservatory is, which is, it does have to be, I think, at least, and the interpretation varies and the local council varies, but at least sort of half to 2/3 needs to be glass. So you can't really put a full roof on it, but equally we didn't want a full solid roof, we still wanted some glass in it. So let me just hop up onto the roof and I'll show you what we did. So up on the roof now, and all this black, by the way, is moss that falls off the roof above. Anyway, so in the middle section you can see what is a very typical conservatory roof. Now all those roof and bars are new, so effectively that middle section is a like-for-like replacement conservatory roof, but what we did on the far left and right is make that a solid roof, which is a rubber roof, fully insulated. And again, a couple of reasons. One is to make this an extension of the kitchen, but to do that you need to try control the temperature, make it energy efficient, so that's why we did half solid roof, which is fully insulated. This has got at least 150, 175 mil Celotex in the roof, which helps control the temperature. And also the second reason did partly solid roof, which you'll see when I go inside, is it allowed to put some downlights in as well. I haven't really seen anyone do this type of roof construction before, quite like this. And I found a certain type of glazing bar which basically had a end bar which allowed me to lap the rubber roof down and under to make it fully waterproof. So it's quite hard to see from here. Let's see if I can turn it on this angle, but basically the rubber roof folds down and goes into this valley here, which is formed by this clip-on plastic bar, which comes as part of the kit, and that is fully silicone to that. So effectively, any water that does escape down here, there's a valley for that water to run into. Now with this rubber roof there is a curb bar which directs the water down, but it can go down there if it does. It's absolutely fine. View from the front where the gutter is. Now, because this is a hybrid roof, which is a mixture of glass and the solid roof, obviously there's quite a height difference. So I did have to make sure I found a particular profile. So this one here, as you can see, is on a nice angle, so when it does rain and pretty hard, because there's a little bit of drop to here, it kicks it out at the right angle to go into the gutter. Now, I mean, I could have went to a bit of extra expense and maybe dressed some lead to make sure it 100% goes in, but I've tested it under different strengths of rain, well, using the hose pipe to make rain, and it's absolutely fine. Now, if the odd drop did run down there, doesn't matter, that's all waterproof. And then, as you can see from here, this is effectively the valley where if water happens to go down that curb, it can run out to there. And then just coming back around to this side, another good use of having this solid, at least part of the wall solid, is that within this wall, again, which is insulated, it did allow me to run some pipes so that we've managed to get an outdoor tap that can come out the wall. And actually there's also another outdoor tap on the other side as well. And then, as I said, that cladding, timber cladding, all nicely matches, panning round to the garden office cladding. And you can see actually, I know, so we said we painted this UPVC. If I just come in closer, you'll probably see, so that is actually what white UPVC is. You can see the frame of the door, the slightly creamy colour. So coming back inside of the Conservatory Restoration, so obviously you've seen bits of this in a couple of videos before, but just to try to explain why we did the roof. So as you can see from this view, there's still plenty glazing. Now obviously we could have put a smaller like roof lantern type lantern, but we wanted as much glass as possible. So you do get a nice view out into the park over there. And then obviously the solid on the left and right allows downlights to be in. Still got a couple to put in there. And also that is all fully insulated as well. So this is the end wall here that I showed you outside, that's clad. Obviously if that was all fully glazed like that one, you wouldn't really be able to properly have inbuilt storage like that without having sort of a corner. So that's allowed us to have proper units and storage in, and obviously the same on that side. This originally was a single door with a window, so the lintel, there's an original lintel that goes the full way across that. If I just flash up a photo, you can see what that used to be. So it was very easy just to knock the brick wall below the window out, and then we went for aluminium doors. These are exterior ones, so obviously this is still a conservatory, which means it's still technically not a proper room, which means you need exterior rated doors. All the insulation that are in these two walls and the roof and the radiator now that's got working in, it is actually nicely regulated in here. We were thinking we might have to close these doors at night just to make sure it's not super cold, but actually this room has worked out pretty well in terms of being sort of a hybrid conservatory. So we're definitely recommending something similar.